Hello, everyone. It's me again, Donny. Yes, welcome back to Untitled Learning Cafe. This time, I'm going to share with you how to use a Morningstar. As you know, that Morningstar is the one of the important website to do our analysis, especially fundamental analysis, where we can learn how the company performance, financial performance, how the financial status like balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow. And the good thing is Morningstar is complete and free for the everyone. So you just can search any stock in the world. You just type the Google it, then you just type, let's say Apple Morningstar. Without further ado, let's try it. Let's do this together. So I'm going to go to Google. Hey Google. Then I say I want to see Apple because Apple just launched a MacBook. Their clothes. Yes. Can you imagine that Apple clothes is very popular nowadays? Anyway, let's see whether the latest product Apple clothes is generating a lot of revenue for Apple. So we just go to Apple Morningstar. Okay. So here the first line is Apple Morningstar. Then we have a financial valuation, etc. So just click here Morningstar. Top one. It bring us to the first page, which is quote. Okay, so in the quote we have a quote here and key ratio, whereby you can see all those key ratio data, which is enables us uh, to analyze faster and better. So in the first page is very straightforward. It's like all the financial websites there, like Yahoo Finance and Bloomberg, etc. or Reuters. So we have a chart here, then bid size, R size, day range, volume, and year range, market cap. As you know that market cap is the number of share outstanding multiplied by price on the closing price. And then the unique things about Morningstar, it tells you what's the investment style for this company. Here we see on the top right corner is large, and usually the from left to right is the whether is the left one is a value and the right one is growth. From bottom to top is whether it's a small company or large company. So in the when you see here the rectangle, the black rectangle, small rectangle on the top right means that this is a large and growth company. And price per sales here 7.29. Beta is a sensitivity to the market. Beta 1 equals to market beta. So 1.23 is more sensitive to the movement of the market. Then is consensus forward PE is the expected earning next time, and price per book, which is price divided by book value. And we can have a key ratio here, which is more details. So this is a snapshot, the summary. But if let's say you want to dig deeper, we can have the full key ratio data here. All right, so this is the top part here is the financial summary, whereby you can see the revenue, then last 10 years data, and take note that TTM here is TTM is abbreviation of trailing 12 months, means from today is October to the last 12 months, which is November. So November 2022 until October 2021. Okay, so this is the yearly data. And the good things about Morningstar, or it will provide all the financial data for last 10 years and free. And you also can click here export to save into your drive as a CSV, comma separated value. Then you can do some modification to make it like the column and rows in the Excel files as you want. Then we here in the top, we have a financial summary, which is revenue, gross margin, operating income, etc. Net income also have here. Earning per share, dividend payout ratio here is a dividend per net income. So the percentage of dividend paid every net income that company generated. So share is a number of share outstanding, and book value per share is again is a book value divided by number of shares outstanding. So this is the net asset value. Then operating cash flow is here, capital capex, capital spending. Free cash flow, basically operating cash flow minus capital spending. So let's say you can put here 37 minus 7 is 30. So we have a free cash flow per share, which is free cash value, free cash flow divided by number of share outstanding. There we have a working capital here. For the key ratio, here is a detail. So we have a profitability, which is always about profit, like gross margin, operating margin, and EBT margin in earning before tax. So we have here all the profitability. We can have a net margin. Net margin here is net profit margin. And we have a return of asset, return of equity, return of invested capital, and interest coverage. Means that interest payment divided by EBIT, earning before interest and tax. These all the profitability tab. How about the growth tab? The growth tab here is showing the growth of the revenue year by year, year over year, or average annualized 3 years data, and 5 years data annualized, and 10 years average annualized. Then we have operating income, net income, and EPS. So from here, you can see that in over 3 years average, Apple grow their revenue 6.19%. And the last quarter, year over year, is 36%, or year over year missed that from Q3, I think. Q3 this year, and compared to Q3 last year, what's the growth? So in this case, Apple growth 36.44. That's all we can see here is EPS and earning per share. Then we have a cash flow here, free cash flow divided by net income, free cash flow growth year on year, and capital expenditure as percentage of sales, etc. Financial health is one of the important ratio. We can see here all the financial health. Basically, all here is in terms of the total asset, which is 100%. So current asset is 38. So Mr. Long-term asset is 50. So Mr. Current asset is 38% of the total asset. And also the liability and equity is 100. So means that current liability, the liability and equity is means that if we say total liability 34. So means that equity, which is the other portion of liability and equity is 65. And you sum up together liability plus equity, which is 100%. So this is in terms of percentage, not in terms of the value. Or if let's say you want to know the breakdown of the value, we can go later on. Then we have here is a liquidity, financial health, which is current ratio, quick ratio, financial leverage, and debt equity. If let's say you want to know more about this, you can go through our course under fundamental analysis. We will teach you how to decode all this ratio. And efficiency ratio is basically a turnover. So the higher the turnover, the better. That's all for the key ratio. This remember that this is a very, very important ratio in order for you to analyze fundamentally whether the stock, the company is healthy enough, profitability enough, and good enough for your investment, for long-term investment. So we have here financial tab, but if let's say you go from key ratio to financial tab, is we can see the statement like annual statement. So we have here is a income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow. So we can click here income statement. We can have revenue. This in terms, not in terms of percentage, in terms of the real number. in terms of $1 million, of course. So if I say here is for first trailing 12 months is 347,000, means 347,000 million. So about $347 billion revenue. Wow, it's not surprising because Apple is a $1 trillion company, so it's they are big. Then we have here all the breakdown, and until we have net income here is which is net profit after revenue, after deduction of all the expenses. We call it net income is a bottom line because it's always in the bottom. So earning per share is net income divided by all the share outstanding, and also this is the basic, the diluted one. We have other calculation to include other factor inside this. Okay, that's all for the, you can put here annual and quarterly. This is quarterly. So means from, let's say you change to quarterly, they break down based on that every 3 months. Then yes, you can click here. There's a graph. This is for the visual, because some people love to see the visually. Easier for them to make a analysis based on the pictures. So if let's say you are the visual guys, maybe you can click here. No need to click, it's just move your cursor here. Okay, so the income here you can see is quarter to quarter is up, but recent quarter is dropping. Oh, that's all the income statement. We go back to annual. Then we move to balance sheet. So in balance sheet here, we have what we have here. We have an asset here. Non-current asset is current asset and non-current assets. So total assets here is, this is not in terms of percentage. This is in terms of the actual numbers. Then we have a liabilities here and equity, which is asset plus liability. Which is asset equals to liability plus equity. So you see here the number of asset and the number of liability and equity is always the same. That's called balance sheet. If this is not the same, it's not, well, we cannot say it balance sheet. Okay. So this is the balance sheet, and we have a cash flow here. What we have cash flow is yes, the cash flow is breakdown by net cash provided by operating activities, and here is investing activities, and this one is net cash provided by financial activities. And towards the end or the bottom of this statements, we have a free cash flow, which is again operating cash flow minus capital expenditure. Is we got a free cash flow. Then we can have this visual aids to see that, to show us whether it's going up or going down visually. Okay, what we have here is yes, this is the rounding number, and you can export to your, you can click here to export to your desktop or C drive for your data messaging as data manipulation. Means that you can analyze, you can do some basic Excel calculation, etc. Okay, that's all for financial. Let's see the valuation. The valuation here. Oh, for valuation, don't click here. You go back to quote, because here is only the summary of the Apple compared to the S&P 500 and 5 years average. There's a summary. You can go to, if I say you want to see the whichever the full data, you need to go back to quote. Remember, just now we go to key ratio, then go to financial and go to valuation. So here we can go to quote, go back to quote, and we move to valuation. Let's see valuation. Yes, this is valuation breakdown of the last 10 years data, which is 2011 all the way to 2021. 2021, sorry. How is 21? So this is 2020. So we have a 5 years annualized average, and this is index. So basically, we can compare the current, which is 2021, compared to 5 years, and compared to index, so whether they are higher or not. So we have a price per sales, price per earning. So basically, this is the valuations in terms of the comparative, relative comparison of the multiple. So comparative multiples, basically multiples price to compare with earnings, or price to compare to sales, cash flow, book value, and PEG, etc. We have an earning yield too, and yes, we have an enterprise value over EBIT or EBITDA. So basically, all here is a valuation, comparative valuation, relative valuation. With that, we can compare to the rest of the industries. So that's all for how to use the Morningstar. We can, if let's say you want to know more, you just click here, or the executive, who are the who are the CEOs. First, you know the CEO is Tim Cook. Let's see whether it's still Tim Cook. Yes, they call it Timothy Cook. Yes, it's an amazing guy. Yeah, when he take over from Steve Jobs, he can go from few $1 billion company into the $1 trillion companies. It's amazing guy. So yes, that's all. So these are all the executive teams and board of directors name, and we have an ownership here. What's ownership here? Let's see. Yes, the ownership is who are the ETF or institutional institutional investor. This fund, if you want to see institution who own these stocks, we can click the institution. Then we can see here all big name like Vanguard, BlackRock, Berkshire Hathaway, which is owned by Warren Buffett, and yes, JP Morgan, etc. So as you see here, this all the major ownership, and we can see here who are selling and who are buying this stock. Yes. And dividend, let's say dividend here. Yes, here we can see the dividend. The Apple is continuing increasing the dividend year over year. So it used to not to give a dividend. Then after that, we can have a increasing dividend. I think that's all from me. Thank you so much for listening. Hope it helps you to analyze or how to use a Morningstar. We can click also whichever stock in the world. Just type the stock. Let's say in Indonesia is let's say BBCA, Bank Central Asia. You can hear all the results of BBCA. There we can click here BBCA. So under foreign US securities. For US is US securities there. So that's all for me. Thank you so much for listening. Take care.